Yep, there's Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hello there. We're getting close to 7, so I popped in.
Thank you.
Yeah, very close. Another minute and we'll get started.
Hello.
Maybe I should ask this. First of all, I'm Chris Stodig. I'm the moderator for the town of Lanesboro, and so I have the opportunity to moderate tonight's meeting. And it's 7 o'clock, but I should check with the chairs. Do you all have quorums?
The school committee has a quorum, yes.
Williamstown has a quorum, but the chair's not here, but I'm the vice chair, so we have 3 so far. And Lanesboro has a quorum too.
That is good to hear. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So again, I'm Chris Stodig, and this is a joint session of the Mount Greylock School Committee, the Lanesboro Select Board, and the Williamstown Select Board. We'll begin in a moment by having the chairs call their respective boards to order, and then proceed to consider and vote on the possible appointment of Ursula Malloy as a candidate for the vacant Lanesboro seat on the Mount Greylock School Committee. And if she is appointed, she will fill that seat through November of 2022. The way that we did it last time, that worked well enough, and I expect we'll follow again, is that after we call the meetings to order, we'll allow Ms. Malloy a few minutes to introduce herself, and then we'll have a motion, a second, and a discussion that I suspect, since we have one candidate, will be a lot more brief than the last time. Maybe what I suspect is also what I hope, but we'll see. And then we'll go to votes. So we may as well get rolling, and no particular order, but why don't we go school committee, Williamstown and Lanesboro in terms of calling our boards to order, please.
Okay, thank you. This is Christina Conry, and I would like to call to order the Mount Greylock Regional School District School Committee. It is 7:02 p.m., April 27th, 2021, and we are meeting remotely via Zoom.
I'd like to call a Lanesboro Board of Selectmen meeting to order.
And I will, sorry.
Just checking to make sure everybody can hear me.
Ken, thank you.
Okay.
And I will call the Williamstown Select Board to order.
Okay. I should have asked if we had, I can't see everybody on my screen. So is Ms. Malloy in the audience? Ursula?
I am. Yep, I'm here.
Chris,
Hello.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Chris, may I interrupt? This is
Okay.
Christina from Mount Greylock. I'm thinking we should probably read Governor Baker's order. And also I'm wondering if we should just review the regional school district agreement. I can read that out loud for the record if you'd like.
I would be happy for you to do both those things.
Okay. Per Governor Baker's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, MGRSD 30A Section 20, the public will not be allowed to physically access this meeting. The meeting is being broadcast on WillieNet TV, channel 1302 in Williamstown, and will be accessed, can be accessed through the Mount Greylock Regional School YouTube page within 24 hours of the meeting. Per the Mount Greylock Regional School District Regional Agreement, Section VD, if a vacancy occurs among the committee members elected under Section VC or appointed under Section VB1, the selectmen from both Lanesboro and Williamstown will meet together at the Mount Greylock Regional School within 30 calendar days with the remaining committee members to fill such vacancy by roll call vote. A majority of the votes of the elected officials entitled to vote shall be necessary to such election. The newly appointed committee member will serve until the next biennial state election, at which election a successor shall be elected to serve for the balance of the expired term, if any. This joint meeting will be chaired by the town moderator of the town of residence for the new appointee, and the joint meetings chairperson will vote only to resolve tied votes.
Thank you very much. So Ursula, at this point, if you'd like to say a few words about yourself and your candidacy, that would be appreciated.
Sure. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me okay. Are we good? Okay, got my AirPods in. So my name is Ursula Malloy. I live in Lanesboro. Just for background, I was born and raised in Westwood, Mass, which is out near Boston. I came out this way when I went to college at RPI and found myself here in 2006 in Lanesboro, working for General Dynamics. So I moved to Lanesboro at that time, even before I had kids, for the school district. That was one of the big reasons. And since then, now I have 3 kids in the schools here, 1 in the middle school, 2 in the elementary school. I still work at General Dynamics. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons I'd like to be part of this, but I think I'll just leave it at, you know, I value education for myself and my family. I value the role that public education plays in our community. I think that's really important. And I would love to be a part of the school committee to, you know, bring my energy and leadership to advocating for our schools and our students, and, you know, continuing to preserve the quality and improve where we can the quality of our school district. I think it's a great school district. I don't have any complaints, and I'd like to continue to see it to be great. So I'd love to be a part of that. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. If anyone has questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. But
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you. And so we now do allow the boards to ask questions, and why
sure.
don't we start with the school committee? And people know, of course, that they're not obligated to ask questions, but we'll start with the school committee, and then we'll go to Lanesboro and then Williamstown. So school committee members, please feel free.
I'm happy to start. Ursula, I just wanted to thank you very much for your willingness to serve on our district committee. That means a ton to us. We're really grateful that you stepped up to fill this position at this time. And it's kind of a nice opportunity that you get to test the water, so to speak, for a shorter term than normally if you had been elected into the position. So that's kind of a nice little perk. And I just want to let you know that you are surrounded by a group of really dedicated school committee members, most of whom are, like myself, are new to being even on a school committee. So, you know, we're all sort of learning this whole thing together, and it's, I can tell you, for me, it's been a great experience. Again, I just feel lucky that you have applied, and I look forward to having your project management and financial background on the committee. I think that would be great. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I just add to that you've probably had one of the most challenging years in the history of a school committee ever with COVID. So that's not lost on me, believe me.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else from the school committee? Okay, how about the town of Lanesboro?
I'd just like to thank Ursula for stepping up to run for this, or to accept this spot on the committee. I think she's a great person, and her skills will be well suited for what she's going for.
Thanks, John.
I'd like to second that. Impressed by the resume, even more impressed in the few minutes I'm getting to see you and listen to you. Very happy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, last but not least, Williamstown Select Board, any questions?
No questions really. I appreciate the background. It mirrors mine a little bit, but mine was panties and perfume at Victoria's Secret, so slightly different, but at the end of the day, supply is supply, and people want it when they want it. So I appreciate the mind that has to do that, and thank you for stepping up and your willingness to serve. It's really important now more than ever that people get involved, and anytime anyone does, I am personally quite grateful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Ursula, for applying. I joined the crowd and being happy that you're here and happy that you seem very well qualified for it. I'm just more curious about why people do things. And I noticed that, a few months ago, there was a vacancy in Lanesboro and people stepped up, and Mr. Elfenbein here won the pie eating contest, I guess. So he's here, enjoying the show. I was just curious, had you considered applying then or not? And if you did, I guess I'm curious what made you not go forward then.
In honesty, I didn't apply then. It's not that I've thought about it before, actually. I've thought about running before. I obviously value the school and think I'd be qualified. I do have a number of things going on in life, obviously, like everyone does. I've been on the Berkshire United Way Board of Directors for 6 years, and my term with them is actually ending in a couple of months here. I've done 2 terms and I'll be done. So I figured that, this timing wise, it frees up a little time for me to focus on something else, and free up those hours that I'm spending there. So that's one of the reasons, to be honest with you. I don't want to overcommit. And I think I just maybe felt more that there was a need here, and I'm sure there was a need before, and maybe I just didn't realize that as much, but this was just something that I felt compelled to do. And I guess I don't have a better answer for why I didn't do it before, but between the time and just for whatever reason, it just appealed to me this time. And I didn't give it as much thought before, I guess. But I have given it thought in years past, for sure.
And there's always a need, and thanks
First
again
time I've
for
officially done
being
it.
willing to fill it.
Yeah.
I'm all set.
Absolutely.
Anyone else from Williamstown? And I had neglected to say that we really should seek a motion at this point and get a second. We've already had some discussion, but that's okay. So if anyone else from Williamstown has some questions, now would be a good time. And at some point, I think we probably have to get motions from each of the boards. Is that correct? Anybody remember whether we do? Yeah, I think we do, right? Yes. So any further questions? Okay, well, let's start. I always think I'm sorry.
Chris, I'm not sure we need a motion from each board. I think
Right.
it's one motion and we need a majority from each board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to make that motion for Ursula to be appointed to the school committee.
That's second.
Okay, so why we have to go with a roll call vote pursuant to the language of the agreement. So let's start with Mount
So
Greylock.
Chris, I'm taking the minutes from Mount Greylock. My audio cut out. Could you say who made the motion and who seconded?
Yes, I think, Mr. Murphy made the motion from Lanesboro, and who seconded?
I did, John Gerlach.
Okay.
And it's Michael Murphy. Michael.
Yep.
So we'll move on to voting. Mount Greylock School Committee, why don't you go ahead and vote first?
Owen, I.
Henri, I.
Constantine, I.
Elfenbein, enthusiastic, aye.
Green, aye.
Miller, gratefully, I.
Okay, I think that concludes the Mount Greylock School Committee. Town of Williamstown, Select Board, please.
Roll call.
Daily,
vote.
I. Oh, Daily, I.
Hoagland, aye.
O'Connor, I.
Patton, aye.
And Town of Lanesboro.
John Gerlach, aye.
Gordon Hubbard, aye.
Michael Murphy, aye.
Well, that math is easy. That counting is easy. That was unanimous, as it seems that it should have been. And so I think we are able to conclude our meeting with that vote. So I think each of the boards has to conclude their meeting, and we will wrap up unless anybody thinks we have something else we have to do before we do that.
Chris, I was just going to ask, this is Carrie Green, what is the process for Ursula to be sworn in? Does anybody know?
I believe she goes and sees Ruth over at Lanesboro Town Hall to get sworn in. I think it can be done as soon as tomorrow, but I'm not sure about that.
And I believe that Stacy will be sending Ursula a whole bunch of information tomorrow that will help guide her through the next steps.
So Stacy is our district secretary. So,
Yes, she sent me the Zoom info and yep.
correct. Yeah, thanks.
Great.
All right, so motions to adjourn?
Mount Greylock, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So Steve Miller,
Carrie moves, Miller seconds. Roll call, please.
Owen, I.
Conry, aye.
Constantine, I.
Elfenbein, aye.
Green eye.
Miller, I.
Adjourned at 7:15 p.m. Thank you.
Ellen,
yeah.
get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi,
Hi, John.
Hi, Gordon.
I'm Michael.
Okay, can I get a motion for Williamstown Select Board to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Daily, I.
Hoagland, aye.
O'Connor, I.
Patton, aye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for a nice and orderly meeting. And most importantly, thank you, Ms. Malloy, for volunteering for this position.
Thank you, Ursula.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time.
And
Thanks.
it was
Have a
nice
good evening.
Good luck.
nice to see you
Thank
all.
you.